Hello and welcome. Today we are going to make a pinching pot, or as in this case, a coffee mug, a primitive one. Now this technique is one of the most basic ones when you make something in ceramics, but I think it's one of the best techniques, and if you get really skillful on it, you can do lots and lots of things just by pinching. The only thing you need is your thumb, your fingers and the palm of your hand. And for instance, if you sculpt, many things you do is actually just plain pinching. For instance, my mouse here, ears, head, body and bottom, everything is just made by pinching and then attached. And there are some rules, of course. You need to have a vent hole through the whole thing, from the ears all the way down to the bottom. And don't forget to make a hole in the bottom. Otherwise the whole thing may crack or just explode in the kiln. One of the things I try to remember is if I have something thicker than 2 fingers, it probably also needs a hole. So you just have to stick a hole through it, otherwise they might explode too. Now, I hope that you like the video. This is not actually the mug that I make. This is the absolutely same technique. This is already glazed. And it's actually a nice mug to hold in your hand with a cup of hot coffee. So, I hope you enjoy my video. If you want to make a mug, I recommend that you use stoneware clay. It needs hotter temperature in the kiln, but it doesn't let the moist through. I always start by kneading the clay on a plywood board. This way I get rid of all the air that might be inside the clay, and it also gives it a better plasticity. It's easier to work with. I cut it with a rope, don't use a knife, and this is just to see that there's no bubbles left. Start making it into a ball. This way you can get all the dents and cracks away. Don't have too much water on your hands, but don't let the clay dry. It's time to start pinching. When you're happy with the round ball and all the dents are gone, start by pushing your thumb into the clay. Try to reach as deep in as possible. Rotate the clay on the same time as you pinch with your thumb. To get the feeling of how thick your clay is, I always use my fingers to feel the back of my hand where I hold it. This way I know exactly how thick the clay is. Keep on rotating and pushing and pulling with your thumb. Use your fingers on the back of the other hand. That way you know exactly. Like this. Remember to rotate. This way it will be symmetrical. Otherwise it might be really thin on one side and still very thick on the other. Don't rush. This takes a little bit of time. You might need to practice a little bit, but when you get the hang of it, it's kind of easy to do this. Work your way up to the rim. If you feel that you're losing the shape or it feels asymmetrical, you can cut away the rim. Now this rim is too thick. It doesn't taste nice to drink out of a cup this thick. So now for the next step. Just by pinching with my thumb and my fingers on the same hand, I get it even thinner. Remember here, rotate the mug all the time. When it's thin enough, it's time to make the grip. I will not make a handle. Instead, I will just push a little bit in the mug. I'm left-handed, so I want to have a good grip on my mug. And then I push a little bit from the inside. The mug is very wet, so I will not fix the edge. But you can always sand it down when it's a little bit more dry, or use a small thread to cut it. Now let's see what this mug would have looked like. This is just a test. I hope you enjoyed my video. Good luck with your mug.